to whomever might be flicking this video upon. Welcome if you're new here, welcome back if you're not. Today we're just doing some outfits. I think I might name this what I want to wear this summer, but it's not that specifically summery, a little bit I guess. I did that video about transitional outfits that was a little bit more appropriate for cooler weather. The outfits I'm going to show you in this video are for sure more warmer weather appropriate, spring, summer, but really I just wanted to show you some of my favorite outfits, which strangely I feel like it's such an obvious video idea. Like if someone is interested in your style, it would make sense to just talk that person through some of your favorite outfits, and that gives someone a greater insight into your style and how you approach fashion. But weirdly, I feel like you don't really see that kind of content too much on YouTube or TikTok, whatever. Just being like, hey, these are my favorites. I guess favorites videos exist, but they're not that popular anymore. And not to be defeatist or pessimistic, but I think it's kind of symptomatic of a larger cultural problem where we are more drawn to fast-paced, immediate contemporary trends, things that kind of appeal to specific cultural moments. We right now are seeing a lot of trend prediction content, which personally I have some gripes with, but I think that shows us that we are very interested in following the zeitgeist and just being constantly aware of what society at large is interested in. And with how fast things are moving right now, you can look at something like TikTok and how it's affecting the music industry and think we're constantly wanting the newest thing and to be on I'm sorry, when I have nails, I am so full of gestures. But we always want the newest thing. We always want to be on the most, the freshest trend. And showing people our favorites isn't really that, because first of all, it's very specific to our persons. It shows a very specific insight into how our brains work. So it's not that appealing in that larger, zeitgeist, side. But also, generally, our favorites aren't the newest things. A favorite is something that you hold on to dearly for years, maybe something that kind of marinates in your brain for a while. So of course it's not gonna be fresh. I wanted to talk about just some of my favorite outfits right now, not really in a definitive manner, but just things that have been on my brain right now and why they're my favorites, why they appeal to me, and what they say about my style in general. I don't want to come off snobbish or as if I don't understand why the internet moves the way it does. I do. I just would love to see people talk more just their favorite outfits, their favorite pieces. I just think it's so interesting to really get a glimpse into someone's head like that, and that's what I'm offering you in this video, as a little insight into my brain. These blues don't match perfectly, but I guess we can just pretend. I used to not like navy. I think I've already said that. Did I say that in the last video? That I used to think navy kind of felt like you wanted to buy it in black, but you didn't manage to find it, so you bought it in navy. And I don't know exactly what happened to me, but I changed my mind completely over the years, and I'm a real navy girl. Not the military. Fuck the military. Color navy is just so rich and elegant, but also so understated and kind of, I don't know. I did just say fuck the military, but I will say out of the Air Force, the regular military, and the Navy, I have to say sailors are by far the most romantic. And I love sailor inspired clothes. There's a specific picture of Audrey Hepburn, I think it was for Gigi. She's wearing this sailor uniform inspired thing, this blouse with a bow and this long pleated navy skirt, and that has always been my dream. I just think that it's adorable, and it has a maritime feel for the summer without being too cliche or stereotypically summery. We don't have any bright colors here. Actually, we have rich ones usually associated with winter, or even when it comes to red with Christmas time, holiday season and all. The story it's telling is still it's rich and maritime. I don't know if it's because I just read Persuasion, but this is really doing it for me. It's so cute without a jacket. I wore this to the ballet once. I went to see Don Quixote. In Portuguese we say Don Quixote. I don't think that's how it's actually pronounced. I feel like this skirt fits me just slightly weird, but I bought it secondhand and I paid very, very little, so I'm not really complaining. I said this before that I'm really incorporating a lot of red into my closet recently, And for summer, I'm really seeing it. If we run in the same internet circles, you have probably seen the Mirror Palais, what is it, Maria Rosa dress. It's the white one with the red ribbons, and I'm really in love with it. I don't have the bank for Mirror Palais right now. Palais, right? I always say Palais for some reason. I think it just sounds more right to my Brazilian brain. I love Mirror Palais, but I don't have the money for that right now. But this is kind of my poor man's reproduction of it. Actually, Mirror Palais is the one copying me, because I got this a long time before they ever released that dress, and I have been doing the white with red thing much longer also. There's a lot of ways to express sensuality through an outfit, but I think doing it through a more delicate and ethereal nature will always be more attractive to me. There is this distant, ethereal, mysterious allure in a woman dressed completely in white with a pop of red. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like this effortlessness, and this, you know, the distance is in this kind of aloofness to the desire of others, but an inherent like creation of desire in their persona. I don't know how to explain it. I think the fact that this is more of a pure white is worse, because it kind of makes this cream look a little dirty maybe. I just rewatched Phantom of the Opera, which is one of my favorite movies, even though like cinematic wise, writing wise, even singing wise sometimes, very imperfect, very problematic. However, it will forever be held in a very special place of my heart just because of its aesthetic like triumphs. And I think it's very interesting that we mostly see Christine in white, representing her purity and kindness and compassion, but during the Point of No Return scene she is wearing mostly red, and it signifies like the fact that she does hold desires and sensuality and, you know, a desire for freedom within her. And I just think that juxtaposition is so interesting. It makes her character so much more alluring. I don't know exactly what it is that draws me to uniforms, but it's very strong. Well, first of all, I would just like to say that the fact that schoolgirl uniforms are sexualized to such a bizarre degree in our society is the most disturbing, appalling, enraging thing in the entire world. I could rant for hours and hours on it, because I think it really is symptomatic of like the deepest wounds in the way we have constructed humanity. Anyways, there are many reasons to genuinely be interested aesthetically and fashion history-wise in uniforms, and I really am. Their androgyny, I think when people put on a uniform, very seldom are there that many like gender markers on them. Of course, if you think about school, often the boys' uniform will involve pants and the girls' uniform will involve skirts, so of course that's a pretty significant gender markers. But even then, like the colors and the fits will generally be kind of similar, and like a schoolgirl's uniform, if it's not the fetishized AliExpress version that weirdos wear on TikTok, the skirt will generally not be like this short, so it won't be like that definitive of one's gender. Like it would generally be a little bit more shapeless, which is also something I'm going to want to show in another uniform. But then you think of it on any level, be it like an academic uniform, a professional one, like a military one, any of that. Usually uniforms are used to kind of like level the field and signify one's belonging to a specific group, and I think that's just very interesting, the way we create, you know, visual signifiers for our belonging. It really is a testament to the power of fashion, while also being interesting to me just on that element of gender analysis. I also think it's very interesting how uniforms kind of evolve slower than the rest of fashion because of their traditional value. Usually the silhouette of a uniform will be slightly outdated and kind of act as a relic of the past. I was gonna say we need to remove the weird implication plaid seems to have, especially in miniskirts, of, you know, being schoolgirl outfits, but at the same time I do love plaid for its connection with like an academic environment, and this is the story this outfit is telling us today, I guess. It reminds me of, what's her name, Vivian from Legally Blonde, just, you know, cute but educated. I think the richness of the blue doesn't fit the like yellowed quality of this green. I love this leather jacket. I thrifted it. I don't even know if it's real Lacoste. It has a vaguely sporty vibe. It kind of makes me think of There's this scene in Belle de Jour, which by the way is one of my favorite movies costume-wise, where she's like at a ski resort, and I'm not sure exactly what she's wearing, I can't remember now, but this makes me think of that. So 60s ski resort. It must look like I only have one bag. Really, it's because my bags are in like the hallway wardrobe, and I'm too lazy to go out and get them. Longchamp makes sense either way. I feel like Longchamp is kind of like standard, cute, educated girl, like tote bag for school. This one is kind of small actually, but I have a bigger one that is actually my college bag. This is what I call my I own greyhounds and contemporary art look. I've always thought that I could be a good gallery owner. I'm not exactly sure what it entails. I just think I have great taste and I look very elegant, so I don't know, you know, you could see me holding champagne and then you come up to me and you're like, oh, isn't this showing gorgeous? I wonder who organized it. And I'd be like, hi, my name's Leticia, I own the gallery. Yes, my taste is immaculate. Did you notice? Even the champagne I chose most carefully. Do I know anything about champagne? No, because I don't drink alcohol. But in this world, I would have started drinking alcohol because I'm sure that if I actually had to work in art and be a gallery owner, it would make me start getting alcoholized. It will make me start drinking. I think this untucked, I think this looks good too, but I think I'm leaving it untucked for like, you know, kind of a shapeless vibe. It is curious that when you imagine a professional woman, you always imagine her in vaguely androgynous clothes. Obviously clothes don't have gender and you can wear whatever you want, but it is very interesting that I think our societal concept of what the professional woman looks like, or the serious woman, is always vaguely shapeless. It's all really just a ploy to, you know, oppress women's expression and sexuality and make the feminine seem inherently sexual. The thing is, the body of the woman in itself will always be sexualized. The existence of the woman is a sexualized existence. I just think it's very curious how we let it bleed into typically feminine clothing. Any typically feminine clothing will always have like a sexual aspect to it, because we just can't let things associated with women exist without being sexualized. I need to stop like starting to make points when I'm making outfits video, because I'm never in the headspace to really like drive you to that point successfully and smoothly. But it's just that, you know, clothes are inherently political and stories are inherently political, and clothing is storytelling to me. But it's just, and it makes me crazy to think that the fact that I was born with this body and like the fact that this body has certain qualities makes it so that it is established as a woman's body, even if I don't personally relate to that narrative. And that makes it so that I will always be a totem of sexuality, even when I don't want to. And when I do want to, I will always be criticized for that. Our patriarchal ideas of sexuality and women's sensuality are so twisted, and they bother me so much that when I try to play by their rules in a way, it just makes me sick to my stomach. And that's why I can never be fully comfortable when I'm wearing something that expresses sexuality, but at the same time, I feel weird when I try to express my seriousness or my intellectual qualities, or when I try to seem as neutral as possible. When I try to do that, I do it through, you know, shapelessness and more manly clothing, but then you also feel like you're doing your sex a disservice, because it's like, who said femininity can be serious or neutral? Anyways, isn't it fun when you get to wear something you made? I actually did this inspired by the outfit Ariel wears in The Little Mermaid when, like in the Kiss the Girl scene. This bag is kind of beat up. It was my mom's, and you know, white bags, they struggle. But I just love the way it's shaped. It's kind of like a little boat. Canoe. I have another, like I bought another way cheaper white baguette bag, but it just doesn't compare to the funky shape of this one. Look at it. We love this outfit. Oop, sorry. Who is we? We is me and you. Do you not think this outfit rocks? Because if you don't, you have just started to. Where's my... Oh. I control your thoughts. You're watching my video. It's very hard to put clothes on gracefully. You can take clothes off gracefully. Putting them on, I feel, is much harder. This is pretty, Little Mermaid, isn't it? Like, I don't think she's wearing white in that scene, but I think I did a good job with this corset, with like reminding one of her. I think I should tuck this in. Recently, I've been wearing a lot of long skirts with flowy shirts and a corset on top, and letting the long flowy shirt over the skirt instead of tucking in. I feel like it just makes the corset look more right, but right here for whatever reason I think tucking in is a better. It's a little weird because the shirt is textured. We're gonna ignore it. This is cute, right? It's very maritime as well. This is actually making me think of pirates, or weirdly of fencing. Why is this reminding me of fencing? Did you guys know I used to fence? Yes, I did a lot of random things in my life. One of them was fencing. I didn't like it very much though because it's very hot in Brazil, and wearing that full fencing outfit in 40-degree weather, that was very unpleasant. I think we should bring more fencing references to fashion. I feel like there is so much opportunity with like bringing sports attire and sports uniforms to fashion. Here I am again, loving uniforms for whatever reason. But fencing is underrated, I think. There is much more we can do fashion-wise with fencing. I've been wanting to do a dressing as Disney princesses for a week video. The thing is, I want to make like one corset for each princess. Not for each princess, there are a lot of princesses. But like make a corset for a few princesses. This one is inspired by Ariel. I want to make one inspired by Rapunzel from Tangled. I feel like I could make a really pretty lilac corset. Now, this outfit I'm putting on is almost exactly the same as the last outfit I put on. Fact. Clasps are so hard. I recently watched Queen Charlotte, the new Bridgerton show. By the way, it's so much better than the other Bridgerton seasons. If I had to rank, it would be Queen Charlotte, Kate and Anthony season, and Simon and Daphne. I think the reason I love it so much is that the romance, like conflict, is something quote unquote external, like not exactly, but you know, like out of their control. While in those two, the conflict was that one of the people or both of the people were assholes. And I have had enough of romance that's like basically them being horny for each other, but one of them is just a total fucking dickhead. And it's like, why is usually the man is the dickhead? And it's like, why should I root for this dickhead, or why did I say like that? For this dickhead or these two dickheads. I want to see two good people who are in love with each other fighting something together, you know. But anyways, what I was gonna say is this is basically the same outfit as the last one, but in my personal opinion, it's telling a different story. The last outfit was like Ariel, Sailor Princess. This one, it's like historically inaccurate underwear in a period drama. If I had to say like one thing to define my taste in fashion, I would say historical undergarments. There's this scene in Anna Karenina, I'm sure you've seen it before. There she is like on a thing and like she's getting dressed with the help of maids or something, and she's reading this letter, and basically the scene is just showing all the layers of her clothing. And I remember I was always a little bit like disappointed when she put on the final garb, like that overdress, because I just loved her underwear, just petticoat with the chemise and the corset. And if you notice, that is basically just like the it's getting hot in my room, oh my god, sorry, it's just because I felt myself losing the sentence and I had to give you the justification that it's because I'm getting really fucking hot. But anyway, I was always kind of sad when she put on the last piece of clothing, and I frequently am in historical dramas because I just think the undergarments are so chef's kiss. Like obviously the outer dresses are always very pretty as well, but if you notice, most of my outfits like just have that recipe: chemise, petticoat, corset. I love a pink and green combination. Something about it reminds me of Sleeping Beauty, even though that isn't her color combination. But I don't know, to me pink and green is so esoteric and delicate, so of course a princess of a sleeping curse. Well, actually, you know, they argue about whether her dress will be pink or blue, but she's always represented with a pink dress. And when they put the kingdom to sleep, the fairies, and they put the kingdom to sleep, like it's represented with like this green hue. So maybe I'm right, like the pink is to represent typically princessy qualities, and the green is the magic. Well, Maleficent is green, right? Maleficent's magic is green, I think. This makes me feel like a flower, like an upside down flower, like I'm opening up to the petals. That's sweet. I really like this one. That's that. I'm tired. I really like filming these kind of just random like dress up videos, and I hope you like them too. People do ask me about specifically like outfits videos, and you know, having a theme draws people in, but in general I think if you follow me you're just interested in my style, so